24th of May 2020, Anizay province, the Middle East. RG are deep in enemy territory. RG advisors have been briefed and command are detailing the noticeable cultural differences in the area. Differing political opinions and terror sympathizers loyal to certain IS cells are definitely operating within the area. It harbors civilians which are in unrest, local militia, disgruntled civilians, and they're all finding a new common ground since our arrival. As always, the Reality Gaming Task Force remains in Sahel as NATO's primary security force. With IS receding in the Middle East, their African cells have increased their attacks against the democracies in Africa, their scrutiny forces and civilian targets. We are set up in Anizay province at our FOB, which has seen a heightened insurgent presence. Our main mandate is to act as the primary quick reaction force for the local national forces and to support any aid groups in the area. Gentlemen, as of 0400 hours, we have received reports of an ambush on a midnight IDAP personnel convoy in the south of the province. We are to deploy immediately and evacuate and protect any survivors to this convoy. Offensive operations are likely to follow, depending on the success of our QRF. Keep mindful out there, gentlemen, and Godspeed. Hey guys, it's Andrews and welcome to this Sunday operation here at Reality Gaming. Operation Skyshard by RG CPT.STABCON, commanded by our very own CPT.STABCON, and you join us here at the gathering point just ready for our initial mission briefing before we go out and conduct this operation. So without further ado, I'll hand you over to Stabs.
We do know that an IDAP convoy has been intercepted / attacked. Vegas have a number of separate objectives, one of theirs being close to our route west, or close to the convoy route, intervene with anything going on there. Talon to provide support with reinsert, resupply. They do have a drone operational tonight for use of Vegas, and there will be an F-18. Gambler squads sit tight. Collect a vehicle in a moment. I want to speak to squad leaders before we move ahead. So, your medics will be acting semi-autonomously. There will be one member of 30 with them that's going to have a 148 that will help coordinate and essentially lead that medic team and just delegate where they are to go. So, any contacts, casualties, CCPs or anything like that will all be organised and coordinated via that MRAP. And the coordinates point that is make sure you guys route out is going to be essentially going straight south, straight out this far. Push down this road through Makan Al Jamal and then straight south to there. Like I say, we need to try and get there as safely and securely as possible. We don't want to turn into more casualties when we get there, so we'll approach with caution, but we do also need to make it relatively snappy. Alright, we'll be moving out very, very quickly.
Ace vehicles, I believe. Oh fuck, where is it? Wait one, sorry, it's not Ace vehicles, it is... Oh, sorry, yeah, it's movement, Ace movement. And then there'll be one called Vehicle Quick Mount. Just buying that, I've got it set to D80.
Look, so I bought the right, there's a bike for my mom, I thought the convoy just through.
Lead vehicle, massive gap.
Do you need me to show up in the back area?
I'm going to be riding with the infantry this evening, particularly Arrow Squad, which are one of the sections that make up Gambler within the RG Task Force. This evening, the squad will be led by Retty, an accomplished, good squad leader. You'll see him directing the troop as we go. A little bit of information in terms of how we're mobilizing ourselves this evening. We're currently using the Oshkosh MATV, which is a mine-resistant ambush and protected vehicle, an MRAP. The terrain vehicle has been in operation within the Middle East for quite some time now, and there are deviations on this actual platform which provide heavier and improved mobility than this vehicle, but this is the vehicle we're using for this evening.
Well, we'll have to put over that shit, so... Wow. Yeah. Late's holding up ahead. Copy, hold it. If I just take this over the crest.
2 mics, 2 mics.
Moving out 2 miles, guys. Eagles back here.
Convoy lead with eyes on smoke to the south.
I don't like it. No complaints. Do your duty. For Queen and country.
I'm not.
I guess.
That's it, taking security west.
RPG.
Yeah, that was RPG.
Do I keep watching rear? Copy, hold rear.
Are we holding? Or are we pushing through?
We're holding on this.
All call signs push down to the surround and secure this convoy.
Hold.
Push out and engage any hostiles.
Ground team disembark.
Did you say disengage?
Sorry, clear to engage.
Mike 1, this is Dusek. Passed a couple of IDAP vehicles. Have not seen any survivors as of now.
Dussac Mike 1, push throughout the convoy, search and clear, check everybody, and search to find out any clues as to what's going on.
Is there a way for me to hunker down in this seat?
Unfortunately not, sorry.
Fuck, one of those whizzed over my head.
Blade on south.
Blade, Arrow, you guys on security.
Security and pushing south.
Blade copies on
You from east a little bit? All call signs, double check your squads. I want to know if any of you got put up a flare then.
Break. This is Blade. Contact southwest.
Under report southwest.
Reggie, bearing 170, enemy dash cam, 2 seconds or building shooting at our infantry and our helicopter.
Copy that. It's been called in.
During the firefight here, just a bit of information on the weapons system I'm using. This particular rifle is the H&K G28 designated marksman rifle, although rather than the typical ACOG or longer scope, I've just opted for an aim point. I don't want to have too much range on the guys within the battle. The civilian model was the MR308, and it emerged from the German commitment in Afghanistan during the mid-2000s. It's one of my favorite weapons. The civilian market of Heckler & Koch MR308 serves as the basis for the H&K G28 semi-automatic rifle, developed for military services as a designated marksman rifle, DMR. I used to perform that role quite a lot, but just since I'm filming, just providing light support for Arrow here.
So reinforce the front of the convoy, yeah?
A-firm, push south, front of the convoy.
Zezek, can you take a red team and take that hill to the south?
Arrow push onto Blade's current location.
Arrow moving. Charlie, push to Blade.
You'll see me here using the forward-looking infrared device. That's the FEAR infrared spectrum of electromagnetic radiation. This is used for spotting enemies, especially in darker areas, or if they're hiding. It can see through a lot of the foliage. Very good asset to have within the task force. Often used by squad leaders and commanders alike.
Yeah, that was a talent hit from northeast.
All squads be advised, arrow approaching from northeast.
This is Blade, we've got infantry southeast of the valley.
Covering south.
This is Blade reporting combat clear.
Southwestern secure.
I'm reloading.
Camo Vic is down. Take it behind the compound. Towards the smoke track.
Copy that. Mike 1, pull away from both vehicles.
It's a negative. Mike 1 disabled. We need an engineer on position.
Our engineer en route.
No, he's not that bad. We need to fix this artery.
This Vic needs more wheels.
Like ASAP, dude.
Retty, confirm last for Cat Alpha in Andrews, please.
Copy that.
I left this piece of footage in just after the engagement you saw in the previous clip. The enemy emerged with a RPG technical. We engaged it, neutralized the driver and the gunner. Unfortunately, I caught a stray bullet from an insurgent. I'm only minor wounded here, but you can see Arrow team are pulling me out of the hot zone. They're taking me to a secure area. Here they'll provide medical assistance and get me back on my feet. So this is all part of the ACE medical system, which is built into armor. It's not part of standard armor, but it's great for immersion. And as you can see, rather than just dying outright or respawning, we tend to take the whole casualty situation rather seriously.
I'm checking in.
Zanny, Kimbo?
He got pulse.
Land.
Nice, okay.
Zanny, I'm going to pop a white flare. Just cover this arc, please.
Go for it, Joe. Go for it.
We're engaging infantry contact. One time seen to the south, KI-8.
This is Blade engaging contact south of the road.
Bend crossing.
Crossing.
Oh. There's no entrance over here. Cool.
No, you need to walk around, Merrick.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
This is Blade, spotted RPG southwest of the road.
Right, I'm dropping him here.
Blade's holding, we're covering the squads moving.
That was Andrew, we are treating him, we just moved him inside of the compound for security.
You're going to be quite restricted on engaging anything inside the town at this time.
It's got a
Alright.
fine heart rate, 80.
Yeah, I do wonder if it's not the pain that prevents him from waking up.
Squad, this is Mike 1. If you have any casualties, call it over to us and we will route a medic to you ASAP.
Alright, copy Mike 1, many thanks.
You don't think he's just thirsty, right? There.
Oh.
We haven't had a drink, Andrew, as suggested.
Arrow, stand by to fall out on King. Moving out to sector.
Does actually
Yeah.
match their objective shortly.
Yep.
Is Andrew safe to move, yeah?
He's good.
He's up.
Yep. Fall in then, fall in. Good to go, yeah?
As long as you're behind us, I can say move, yeah, good to go with that.
8-figure grid for a possible mine. 0351. Break.
Dasek, I've got eyes on.
Copy all, Dasek reporting someone their location further west of you as well. Looks like it's just on the opposite side of the car, next to the boot, northwestern side.
So after that initial engagement and ambush with the enemy, I'm re-revved. We're here now with 3-0. This is Obi. He's informing the medics on the principle of movement and how to operate this evening. We were functioning with a roaming medic team, which were 3-4 guys. They were responsible for coming up behind the infantry sections and essentially getting everybody back on their feet as they became a casualty.
Aaron, this is Blade. Is your team in your sector?
Break.
King, point, column.
Blade, this is Dasek.
Blade receiving.
Your vehicle is on the road right next to IAD. We try to blow up right now.
So check, grab the closer to the
Yeah, Blade copies, I'm moving the vehicle out of the way.
Copy that, many thanks. Gamble, this is Dasek. Done. IAD disabled.
Copy that, Dasek, many thanks. All squads, get to your positions. You should be clearing halfway through some of those areas by now. Over.
Fire group south?
Yeah, we got any good money. Sorry, Andrews. My bad.
Let's get the compound there.
I have possible visual contact 140. That's these small walls in this neighborhood.
Good example of RG here fighting in built up areas.
rest of the squad.
Gambler sections are sweeping through these village areas here, searching house by house for any weapons, insurgents, anything that we deem suspicious. There are civilians mixed up within this area and also a huge IED threat, so very, very slow process. And obviously if we do come across anything that deems to be an explosive, we have to call in the engineers to take care of that.
Send it.
Alright, moving left. Reaching. Clear. Left side is clear.
Vita, Andrews, be advised there is an IED threat, yeah? So do not push further ahead than the engine out.
Copy.
King, is this one good, yeah?
Yeah, all the ones marked on map are clear.
Good man. Good shit, man. Any lights, take them out. King, yeah, good.
Sorry, that's not a flare. The day when it was on. Explosion reported. It's a flare, never mind.
It's not a flare, it's the sun. No, wait, it's a flare.
I killed all 6 of those guys, they're all dead.
Clear to carry on pushing, yeah?
The negative, holding the line with the rest. Could be ahead of the compound. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to spread out more or less.
Yeah, this is good.
Let me just mark them up.
Ready, message.
So you join myself and Reti. We are here in the village. We're taking cover in one of the houses. In a moment I seem to take some kind of damage from an IED or secondary explosion, which causes me to pass out. Unfortunately I lose consciousness, and without a medic locally, I have to return back to base. But this was about an hour and 20 minutes into the operation. So it wasn't too bad going for a combat infantryman, but within RG we tried to keep ourselves alive a bit longer than this, hopefully the entire operation.
Blade, nothing hurt, send in Mike 1.
And here we are back to square one, the Reality Gaming forward operational base, or it looks more like an airport for this particular operation. As our members participate in the ops and are subject to being casualties, they will spawn back in the hospital area, and from this area we have to await to be lifted into the combat area again, or the area of operation. Just a preview there of one of the other assets that's been available to us during this mission. That was Talon, and they are providing support in their AH-6, I believe. That's the Boeing AH-6. It's part of a series of light helicopter gunships based on the MH-6 Little Bird. I know most people are familiar with the Little Bird, and part of the MD-500 family. It's been developed by Boeing Rotorcraft Systems, and these include the unmanned Little Bird ULB demonstrator. That's the drone or UAV version of the Little Bird. Very interesting. Found its way into armor, haven't used it for a long time.
Copy that, does that one look at him, direction.
That confirms everyone on the other side of the road.
And yes guys, boarding the UH-60 here. I know a lot of you will be familiar with the UH-60. That is the Black Hawk helicopter. One of my favorites, obviously being featured in a number of movies and TV shows. Sikorsky UH-60 Black Hawk, 4-blade, twin-engine, medium-lift utility helicopter, manufactured by Sikorsky Aircraft, the United States Utility Tactical Transport Aircraft System. It's been in use for a very long time, very recognizable, very reliable, and a favorite amongst Talon for airlift infantry. So just in the chopper riding alongside me here is Vegas section. That's Reality Gaming Special Forces detachment. They are on their way to a separate objective. They typically operate independently from the main infantry force, dealing with side objectives and things that are very sensitive that Gambler wouldn't typically be sent in to deal with.
Thank you, Grenade. Thank you.
Oh, fuck it.
Reinsert boots on the ground. Let's move.
Has eyes on additional squad southwest.
Still one coming in here from the southwest.
Gambler, this is Mike 1.
Send.
Gambler, I got an 8-figure grid on possible incoming squad to arrows south by southwest.
Roger, send.
8 figures as follows: 0320
Bloods on.
0214. This is from friendly squads. Is 841. Elevation 181.
Dealt with. Thank you for any assistance. That was enemy coming in.
Hey, look, that's me.
There we are, back on the ground with Gambler Troop. Just going to hook up with Arrow now, try to get back into the fight. I think we're 3/4 through the first objective. We've pretty much swept this entire area. We're just cleaning up now, a few stragglers, and ready to move out. Unfortunately, the enemy have different plans.
Gambler is Dasek 2 times RPG coming in on Dasek vehicle over. We're still good.
Yep. Okay.
Right, so from where we are, so these buildings here, 4 buildings here.
Yeah. Proceed when ready.
Yeah, so we're going to push up.
You can right. You might need to clear around and make sure that.
Yes.
Stand by to push out, lads. Kimbo, bring push out already. Keep.
Yeah.
Spots. Clearing out. When you clear the buildings, just delete the spots. Copy.
That's seen, Roger.
Vita, Andrews, former plan King, we're going.
Alright.
Just up there, dude. Andrews. Yeah, you're pushing with these 2 lads here and they're clearing the buildings.
Red team, link up on me, choke on me. Ref, we're going to head out.
You might not be able to get in and out of the buildings, guys, but just sweep around and clear them, and let me know when they're cleared, and I'll delete them off.
Copy.
Move in, southeast guys, and then take it left and push into 06.
Keep them together at the moment.
I think so.
Taking fire, taking fire.
No, I'm just taking a light, mate.
Copy.
This building is unreachable.
Contact!
Gambler is to blame.
We're good?
Peter's down.
Blade, be advised your vehicle is placing left in brake.
Where's the shooter? I can't see.
Your vehicle is currently on camp position, solid grip.
So yeah, that was pretty messy in terms of an engagement. Could have been handled a bit smoother by myself and Arrow's squad. We ended up having 2 seriously wounded individuals. That was myself and one of our teammates, with one of our Arrow squad members being KIA at the scene. Unfortunately, I did have to return to base because my legs were broken in the engagement, and that requires some serious medical attention.
You want gunners?
Okay, so if I drop you off, are you going to need a lift anytime soon?
ASAP, yeah.
Okay, right.
Back at the RGHQ then, so we're just listening to Greenie. He's trying to arrange numbers here. Talon essentially are responsible for cargoing everybody in, but we have to make sure there's adequate numbers for that. And Vegas and ourselves are being airlifted now. Greenie is one of the co-leaders of Talon alongside Private Pete. Great guys, very talented individuals.
If you believe it's too unsafe to cross, then don't do so, over.
I was trying to play Pokemon trading card game and fly at the same time, and it's just not happening.
Copy, we've got enough cover under the bottom left.
Give me an okay when you want me to open up on shit.
Copy that.
Okay. That doesn't mean like right now.
Just thirsty, mate.
Right, Vegas, reload your loadouts really quickly. Come on, people are waiting for us.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Doesn't.
Just go.
Right now.
And say good luck, they're only running out to get drinks and snacks and guns and then get back in. Yeah, we're gonna then drop them off and drop you guys off afterwards.
Gambler Sarah, compound.
Copy that. You're dropping us last, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, there's 3 of them dead, so
doing?
that's like nearly half strength.
You just need to know where to get your service.
Does act. Mike 1, we're on position for resupply, very close to your vehicle.
Well, it's nice.
Apparently there's an arsenal at Mojito.
I'm currently dealing with a ID.
Oh, I didn't see them before.
Well, then you guys suck. Slowing me down, man.
So we've just arrived at the Vegas LC. You'll see Vegas dart off now. They're going to be moving on to their objective. We are staying on board as in Gambler, heading back to the main fight.
Thank you.
Boys, go.
Scams all signs break. Be advised, just found some intel. Looks like part of the main faction of these enemy forces were using a local oil field as staging post break.
Oh, guys should be straight east of us.
Grid 024027. Break.
Stabs question.
Yep. Secure your
Would it be possible to get these IDAP guys extracted so they're not taking up ambulance space?
Yes, absolutely.
Copy.
I'll organize that.
I should be in building on the marker.
Can we
One
get
times.
them transported to an LZ location?
Yeah, they're loaded up now.
Roger, let's stand by. Tell them on Gambler.
Stand by
How
to
many?
transport them over. There's 3 times.
One of the disadvantages, unfortunately, of me filming is I don't get to see that much contact. Just showing you one of the enemy insurgents there with his RPG with Gambler
Yes.
on Overwatch.
Sort of thing you absolutely need
Yep.
to have done so by now. Break.
Everyone good on canteens and all that stuff?
Yeah.
If someone needs ammo?
It's too late anyway. If you're not
All
dead
you
now,
need
you'll
is,
never
if
be
you
dead,
haven't,
so let's get
anyone
ammo.
except Mike 1 need you to start reorging yourself on the road 033029. Over.
Alright.
So here we are, preparing to move out. The convoy's just on standby at the moment. Some reinserts and resupplies coming in. Really, again, outstanding visuals on this particular map. I really enjoyed the selection. This is the UH-60 coming in by Talon, and you will see some high-value targets and some captured individuals. They were taken and will be processed back at base for questioning. This is all in relation to intel and achieving our objectives during the operation.
Wait, what? You can see someone? Are you sure?
Have a look, you've got binos. I don't.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't see anyone. I mean,
It's
I
very difficult to see from here, but look like
Crossing
contact.
doors,
Mount
he
up,
said
mount
crossing,
up.
I was firing, there's nothing. Right guys, you heard him mount up.
Yeah, no, that was my fault, not your combos, but yeah.
Mate, it was a hot cross, so I know why you did it quickly.
Yeah.
Swear arrow. That's how it
Always
works.
First on station, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't shoot Reddy in the head, but I did like fire on.
Comes down, comes down. Gamble to Sarah, convoy lead, ready to move out. Over. Sorry, go ahead.
Every time, yeah.
So in the vehicle,
It's shot at,
it's about 2 hours and 20 minutes into the operation. We're just moving to our final objective now, which is a oil field or a oil refinery plant. And we need to capture that to deny the enemy of the assets and the finances that come from owning such a valuable asset.
Get comfortable speed.
Roger that, be advised if that shilker gets line of sight on us, it's going to ruin our day.
Speed 40. This convoy lead, speed 40.
I'm watching oil field, but
just keep a good wide arc forward, and King, watch that road for building IEDs like a hawk.
Yeah.
I'm doing as well.
it's hard to get a visual when everything's moving around, so I might
Yeah,
have
we'll just deal with it as much as you can.
Actions on contact, get out the vehicle if it's an RPG threat, if it's small arms, push through.
Stay firm.
You're going to pass that up, yeah, Retty, to whatever we're doing.
Stay firm, yeah, don't worry.
Breach the fence on the right hand side.
King, take us right.
Did you say through the fence?
Yeah,
Through the fence,
breach,
through the fence.
breach.
What the fuck? I thought you said not the fence.
Sorry, go, disembark.
All out.
Hold. Disembark.
This is Blade, we're moving in, taking the right hand side.
King on point.
No worries.
Not seeing anything yet.
This does like moving from the middle.
VTech column King. Moving the scopes.
Mission granted, you have full control of the vehicle.
Roger that, friendly's pushing southwest, watch these old tankers, make sure there's nothing coming off the roof.
Canvas is Mike 1. I want it on the record, I have a bad feeling about this.
Copy that, come out. Power seconds that, help.
And that.
Right, you can drop like
Just remember to flash into all your buildings, guys. You'll be fine tomorrow.
King. As soon as his comrade's called out, clear mate, I want you on the spot with the trenches on the right.
Yo, I wonder if we can build a trench by this wall, climb the trench and shoot over the wall. Because it's a great cover.
Yeah. Scour all units, secure the location. Might be that there's enemies about to push on. Gamble all units. Gamble all units, spread out, facing southwest. All units push to the southwestern corner of the oil field. Break.
Ready? Message.
Units spread out, looks like we've got contacts all over these oil fields. Break.
Let's go, I'm just gonna
We're pushing towards the town of Akunda at this time. Break. Keep all the vehicles up behind us just so that we've got the extra vision. Over.
So myself and Arrow, we're setting up just on top of this hillside. We're overlooking where the enemy will be attacking from, and something very interesting happens here. Talon gets into a fight with a static AA. Let's see what the outcome is.
Copy that, be advised, we're pushing out on some of those infantry targets. Break.
Here comes an answer.
Looks like we're starting to get eyes on.
You see if the vehicle is over here?
Yeah, that's an AA. Tunguska's still up.
Scabble all Scots, let's start pushing out southwest on foot with vehicles tailing on.
Alright, thank you. Just trying to learn.
Still up. Holy shit.
I think that's getting closer. Like the vehicle's getting closer. So.
go, boys.
Our copy's moving out. Out.
Don't forget Andrew. Someone tell him we're moving.
Andrew's move with us.
Almost at risk of being left behind by Arrow section here. Just memorized by the engagement because it's a very highly skilled and dangerous situation. But it looks like the Talon aircraft, the AH-6, released a missile there, engaged the static AA platform and neutralized it. Good job, Talon.
Infantry in the town to our southwest. Break.
Am I staying in
prep to for heavy defense.
Hello, go with them. They're doing an assault to the southwest.
Blaine, this is I got Blaine, this is Mike 1. We're arriving on position. Blue smoke now.
Hitachi!
So arriving at location, we are disembarking. We're going to start a mechanized assault with air support on the final objective of this particular mission. So myself and Arrow moving in now just to clear up any remaining insurgents so we can all go home.
Our copy's moving now.
Yeah.
Out.
There was a contact.
Contact!
West, taking fire west.
Same guy.
South. Please tell me somebody just shot the rock that I'm next to.
Taking fire, guys. We gotta split up. I mean,
contact 1 times K on that side. Yeah, I got him down. There's probably more though.
Copy that, dust at the scan for Blake.
They receive.
Blake, we're requesting manual guys up in the vehicle. Push them to the road at 019025 and push from there, over.
Blade copies, I'll attempt them.
Pushing down to the nearest wall south.
Let's keep moving.
Scan box is empty.
Copy.
You gonna keep Mark?
Decent
Blade, this is Mike 1.
This is Blade receiving.
Blade, be advised, we were stealing Lou fast.
Blade copies.
Close, other side of the wall. They're moving
This is
towards you
Dasek,
from
took
the...
multiple casualties on our current position.
Mike 1 is en route.
They might try to flank you.
You okay, Andrews?
Negative. Negative.
Yeah. Guys, be advised, these fuckers like to jump on this.
I got water in my backpack. Can't get stabilized.
And there we have it, gentlemen.
He's gonna wake up.
So I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. Just some small bits of footage here of RG returning back to base. The footage you saw at the beginning of the video was our journey home, and we didn't really have any problems other than a small IED threat that was neutralized. I just want to thank everybody for taking part in this particular operation. Big thanks to CASEUR and the mission team for creating it. Thanks to Stabs for commanding. Big thanks to RG and everybody that took part, and a special thanks to Retty, Kimbo and all the boys at Arrow for allowing me to ride with you during this operation and showcase what RG does.
That's all from me.
So guys, without further ado, I'll wish you all goodbye and farewell. And if you are interested in joining RG, remember we are taking recruits. The web address is www.realitygamer.org. Take care guys. It's Andrew signing off.